everybody, how's it going? It's the Daily Shooter, and today I've got a quick watch unboxing for you. We're going to be taking a look at the new Nixon Regulus. This is a really nice piece of gear that I think you guys will really like. I'm a big fan of Nixon watches. I have a lot of them. You've probably seen them in my videos here. This is one of my favorites right there. But this one's a little bit different than your standard kind of, fancy, stylish watch like that. This one's a little bit more, I guess you could say, tactical. It was actually designed by a 21-year Navy SEAL who put all of his input into this watch and then took the watch to the SEALs dive training and then let them kind of mess with it, beat it up, and then give feedback, and then they came out with another version after the feedback was given from the SEAL teams, and this is what the final product is. Now, I don't buy anything just because it's used by the SEALs or anything. I don't use that as a determining factor, but I do think it's nice that it was one of the factors in the overall design, because when they use watches, they abuse watches, and I like to know that I'm going to have something that's going to last. So here it is. This is the Nixon Regulus. Okay, so here it is. This is the Nixon Regulus in sand. They have 4 different colors right now. They have black on black, they have gunmetal, they have the sand color, which is what you see right here, and then they also have a multi-cam. So they have 4 different colors, and to be honest with you, I haven't even put this thing on my wrist yet. I simply took a look at it, and now I want to share it with you guys. We're going to do an unboxing of this together. I will go over some of the modes, some of the features and functions, so I can show you guys a little bit more about it so you have a better understanding for the watch. But as far as a review goes, that's going to come a little bit later on down the road when I know that this thing can handle it, because I'm going to be in the desert shooting a lot of guns, and it's going to definitely, be tested in the 115-degree Mojave weather. So we'll get some good use out of this, and I'll do a review down the road. But let's go ahead and take this out. We'll see how it comes. Right now, this is going for about $150. So it's a fairly good price as far as watches go, especially for something like this. And it comes with a little bit of foam padding, and then at the bottom of the box we have our instructions here. And not bad. You get a pretty decent amount of information, especially for a watch that was designed really to be as simple as possible. There's a lot of watches out there that are like this, that just really make you jump through too many hoops in order to use them properly. There's too many mode functions, there's too many buttons that you have to push in order to navigate through them. The user interface is just a little bit ridiculous. This one is toned down. It's much more simple than what you might find on a lot of other watches that are out there. Now, one of the first comparisons that people are going to make with this watch is going to be between this and the comparable G-Shock watch. This is a G-Shock watch that I've had for about 5 years now. I paid, I think, $100 for it, and it's held up really, really well. This is actually their sand color, or their version of a sand color, which, to be honest with you, has become a little bit washed out over time. It was a little bit darker when I originally had it. But again, 5 years in the scorching desert will, change things. So there's the watch. That's what it looks like. It's comparable. I like the design on this one a lot more. This has a 46 millimeter face to it, so a much bigger face compared to the much smaller face of the G-Shock. Now, the G-Shock is a great watch, but again, if you ask me if this one's going to hold up just as well as this one is, I just like the overall styling on this one better. It's a little bit slicker, and I like the larger face on that as well. So that was a quick comparison between the two watches. Let's go ahead and take this thing off and see what it's all about here. Now, this is pretty cool. I didn't notice this until I was trying to take the band off, but you have this little keeper loop right here, and this keeper loop actually indexes with the band itself. So what's frustrating about a lot of these types of watches is when this little keeper loop slides up and you end up with this plastic band that's kind of bouncing around out here. So what it has is, as we squeeze it here, you can see that it actually indexes with the band. So the loop indexes with the band and keeps it from coming out unless you intentionally want to take it out. So that's pretty cool. It actually has that little kind of dimple right there, and you can see that it's hollow right there. Those match up and they keep it from sliding off. So I think that's a really cool design feature. Okay, so here's a quick look at the bottom of the band, and you can see that it's not just a flat band. There are these ridges that go across the band, and these ridges, I assume, are going to help your arm stay dry underneath the watch, because it's going to be touching your skin just on the tip of the ridge and allow it to dry underneath the band, which I think is a great feature. That's one of the things that can happen is when you're sweating, when you get out of a pool, or you're just overall wet, you have this watch on and it will stay wet forever. But because of these ridges right here, it should allow your arm to dry off, so that's really nice. We have black aluminum on the bottom, so you can see that the bottom right here is this nice black aluminum. It says Nixon, has a little bit more information on it. But very clean looking, very sleek looking. I like it a lot. The band has a really nice texture to it. It feels good. It's got a lot of different points on it in order to get a good fit on your wrist. So they're not spaced too far apart, so no matter what size wrist you have, this should do pretty well. Okay, so here's a look at the watch face. It has a 46mm bezel. This is, at least it feels like, an aluminum bezel. We have 2 buttons at the bottom right there, and we also have 2 buttons on the side. That's all it takes in order to work this watch. We have a mode button right here. We have your light button over here. And then we have also 2 option buttons on the side. Now the great thing is everything is adjustable. You have 2 separate timers, one timer that will run at the bottom, one timer that will run at the top. We also have our light button, which actually gets extremely bright. And you can see that the brightness setting is adjustable by these 3 little dots on the side. So the brightness setting can go from low, medium, and high. Right now I have it set to high. And you can also adjust how long you want it to be on, 1, 2, 3 seconds, and so forth. So you can put this thing on high and run it for 3 seconds if you'd like. Or if you want something a little bit dimmer, you don't want to draw attention to yourself because this is, again, you know, kind of a tactical watch. You can set it so that it's a very low and dim mode and only stays on for a very short period of time. You can also set this thing up so that it has beeps just like a regular watch, or you can run it like I'm running it right now, which is in silent mode. So you can run all the buttons, you're not going to have any beeps or anything like that. And then again, you have your time, you have your day, you have your date, and then we also have timers, and then you can kind of switch these things over and you know, move on to dual timers. Dual timers is going to be great for people who work out, people who do split times, and you know, maybe you're running different times, different laps, and CrossFit, stuff like that. It might be good for you. If you are somebody who's in law enforcement or if you're in the military, this has a lot of great tactical applications to it as well. So you have that, and even when you're in the timing mode, you still have your watch. So it'll still give you the time, it'll still give you the date, and everything else that you might need to know. And then you simply, you know, you have these little side buttons here. You can start that one, and then start this one at a completely separate time. Press stop, and then to reset, you just simply hold it down. And that's one of the nice functions about this watch, is that when they originally designed it, they designed it to be as simple as humanly possible. Now I know this seems like it's turning into a review, but it's not, because I don't know how this is going to work a little bit later on down the road. I'm just simply showing you guys some of the modes and functions so you kind of have an understanding of how this watch works. And then I'll update you later on and let you know. But I got to tell you honestly, Nixon watches, I spend anywhere from maybe $250 up to $500 for a Nixon watch. And then we can see we go through a little bit more modes here. Different alarms, multiple alarms, and then back to our time again. I have several Nixon watches. I spend up to like $500. So to be able to find something like this right here for $150, I'm going to say that's a pretty good deal, especially for a Nixon watch. Again, a really big fan, and I love the way that this face looks compared to something that might be, you know, I guess in the same category, at least, is the G-Shock. Just this to me just looks much, much nicer. So let me go ahead and put it on my wrist for the first time. We'll see what it looks like on. Okay, so here's a quick look at what the watch looks like on. I really like it. I think it looks great. Again, I like some of the large faces that are out there. You can see by this watch right here, which has an extremely large face on it. But I think it looks good. Even though I have kind of medium-sized wrists, it still fits on my hand really nice. The band is extremely comfortable. This is a really nice, almost like a silicone type material. I'm not exactly sure what the material is, but it feels really good on my wrist. And I like it quite a bit. So if you guys are in the market, you want a good watch, but you don't want to go the really big, bulky G-Shock route, this might be something that you guys want to look at. Again, I'll put a link down below to where you can find one. I got mine on Amazon. I think it's probably the best price you're going to find around with you know, free 2-day shipping. So definitely pretty cool. This is, again, is the Nixon Regulus. I really do appreciate everybody watching. Please like, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Have a great day.